Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Cathy Morano, and I'm probably responsible for at least one gray hair on Rick Delmonico's head. I don't know. When I was asked to speak tonight, they specifically said, "We think it would be funny," which immediately made me realize two things. First, Rick has trusted me far more than he probably should have over the years. And second, the fact that I'm still employed says everything you need to know about the kind of leader he is. Over the years, Rick has been supportive, steady, and endlessly patient, which is impressive considering some of the things he has lived through. Like the time I borrowed his car. Yes, I borrowed my principal's car. Apparently, when he realized it was gone, there was a brief moment where he thought it had been stolen. And then the realization hit. It must be Morano. And he eventually came to me and asked very casually, "Hey, do you have AAA?" And I said, "Why, Rick?" And his answer was, "Oh, I don't know." But I knew. I had his car, I had his keys, and I let him sweat for about a half a day. At the end of the day, I handed him the keys, and he looked at them and said, "Oh, that's where they were." Then he paused and said, "Well, now I need to find my truck." And I just pointed to him in the general direction. But that wasn't the only time Rick had to deal with me. There was also the time I sent an email to the entire staff encouraging everyone to email him, stop him in the hallway, or text him with completely random information. And people understood the assignment. Rick learned about Thanksgiving recipes, weekend plans, random life updates, someone forgetting their underwear, oil changes, tire pressure, and even someone's husband's upcoming colonoscopy. And yet he handled it like the professional that he is. Then there was the time I parked in his parking spot. No warning, no explanation, just me in his spot. And if that wasn't enough, there was also the day when every single item in Rick's office was carefully labeled. And I mean everything. Desk, chair, door, computer. Because apparently we needed to make absolutely sure that Rick knew exactly what everything in his office was. And at some point, those pranks were even made to a TikTok. Because apparently normal pranks weren't enough, they needed documentation. And of course, the moment truly he became a legend, the pajama pants. Yes, the pajama pants with Rick's face on them. Not one face, many, many Ricks, everywhere. At that point, I think we all realized if Rick Delmonico could survive pajama pants covered in his own face, he could survive absolutely anything the staff threw at him. But the truth is, Rick doesn't just endure the pranks, he pranked back. Like the time I went to check my phone for a picture, and instead discovered several selfies. Not my selfies, Rick's selfies. Apparently at some point he had access to my phone and decided my camera roll needed a little more Rick in it. I didn't even notice right away. I found him days later scrolling, and suddenly there he was, looking back at me from my phone, and honestly, he looked very pleased with himself. But my favorite revenge prank happened another time. I drove all the way home from school, a full 30-minute drive, through several different towns, completely unaware that Rick had taped a giant picture of his face to the back of my truck. Okay, we're still gonna deny it, okay.
You did it, where's Joe?
30 minutes, driving through town after town. People must have been looking at my truck wondering, who in the world is that? And I absolutely had no idea. I didn't discover it until I got home. When I saw it, the only thing I could do was, I took a picture, sent it to the group chat, and simply wrote, "Thanks." And then there was winter. Every winter, it's a battle over outdoor recess. It could be freezing, absolutely freezing, and Rick would calmly pull out his weather app and say, "Look, it's 80 degrees," and I would yell, "In Boca." And now, full circle, Mandy has become Rick 2.0, sending us outside in freezing weather while calmly showing me the temperature in Boca. So clearly the legacy lives on, and if I'm being honest, Rick has also spent a lot of time dealing with me. Anyone who knows me knows exactly what that means. There were many times I would walk straight into his office in full Morano mode, ready to vent about something, an email from a parent, a situation in class, something that just doesn't sit right, and Rick wouldn't even blink. He would calmly sit there, listen, and somehow talk me off the ledge. Sometimes I think he was doing it because he genuinely wanted to help. And sometimes I think he was doing it because he knew if he didn't calm me down first, he might have to deal with the aftermath. And Rick didn't want to have to clean up my mess. But that's the kind of leader he was. He listened. He put things into perspective. And he was always there to give advice when he needed it. But the one thing that truly gave me anxiety was whenever there was a Spanish teacher opening at the high school, Rick would casually say, "Morano, you need boxes?" Boxes. For years, I lived in constant state of panic. But the truth is, whenever something serious came up, you knew Rick had your back. He supported his teachers. He stood by them. And no matter what, you always knew he was in your corner. But jokes aside, and there were many, the truth is, Rick did more than survive. He led. For 28 years, Rick Delmonico has been an educator in every sense of the word. He began as a 5th grade teacher and went on to teach middle school science, math, and language arts. Because of that experience, Rick didn't just lead from behind a desk. He led from understanding. He understood teachers because he was one. He understood students because he taught them. Then he stepped into leadership, serving as a middle school principal, a high school principal, and eventually returning home to us as our middle school principal. I've learned so much from Rick over the years, not just about education, but about leadership. That you can be firm and kind at the same time. That you can lead with authority and humility. And sometimes the most powerful thing a leader can do is simply show up consistently, fairly, and with heart. Rick, you made people feel safe to teach, to take risks, and to laugh, and to be themselves. And in a school, that matters more than people realize. Because when teachers feel supported, students feel it too. That kind of leadership doesn't show up on resumes, it doesn't appear on evaluation forms, but it changes lives. Rick, look around this room. These are the people whose lives you touch, the teachers you supported, the students you believed in, the colleagues who are better because they worked with you. You may be retiring, but your impact will walk these hallways for years to come. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for trusting us, for standing by us, for leading with humor, patience, and heart. You will deeply be missed, but never forgotten. You didn't just lead a school, you built a family. And if your car ever goes missing again, don't worry, it's probably just Morano. Enjoy your retirement.